moments captured on a magnetic strip, sitting in storage, collecting dust, deteriorating, while the Earth continues to speed around the sun at nearly 70,000 miles an hour, leaving the past far behind.
This is the beginning of Garrett's tape.
As the third and youngest child in my family, I had an obsession with documenting the mundane. Early on in my childhood, I inherited my older sibling's Fisher-Price tape recorder. That tape recorder was my teddy bear. I took it everywhere, talked to it, loved it. It heard some of the most bizarre and raw moments from my childhood.
Okay, now you can do it, Cliff. First, I gotta do something.
Okay. What do you have to say for yourself?
I'm sorry for the way I am.
It's these moments that I cherish most, the kind of thing I'd have no hope of actually remembering. So much confusion and insight into what child me was like. Sometimes in the middle of the tape's roll, another version of me would cut in and start making sound effects. After hearing this phenomenon in a couple different contexts, I realized I was censoring myself, embarrassed by what was on the previous roll. I remember leaving the tape recording during mundane activities, especially when I was by myself. It made me feel like I wasn't alone, knowing future me was listening.
Well, let's just get on with the solar system.
Despite always carrying a tape recorder with me throughout elementary and middle school, I didn't capture my life outside of a handful of tapes, oftentimes re-recording over the existing information. When you record over something, you don't completely overwrite that information. In my case, a lot of it can still be heard underneath the new recordings, leading to tapes forming a collage, spanning most of my childhood.
No, you can't.
Impossible to place every moment, but all familiar enough to trigger a deep sense of nostalgia. Take for instance this one, of my sister and I not getting along.
What do you want from me? Give me it, please. You haven't used that all vacation. I know that. Why not? I'm getting tired of this, Claire. Please.
Each of these recordings is like a small treasure to me, indicators of my mindset and sensibilities throughout my childhood. This habit was carried into adulthood as well, albeit in a more pragmatic way.
How does the knowledge you gain from Chapter 6, Texture Lecture, prepare you to become a more active citizen? I think that
my recollection of childhood has always been subpar. Now with all of these tapes laid out in front of me, it feels like a gift from the past, something I spent my whole youth creating. And much like the sands of time erode our memories, the contents of these analog mediums, both audio and visual, are disappearing. Sooner or later, the memories of these tapes will disappear, as the ferric oxide holding these precious moments loses its bond. Something I've become very aware of. I inherited all of the analog tapes that my parents had in storage, audio cassette and VHS alike, spending the greater part of a year archiving all of it, and I had a lot of them. Hours upon hours upon hours.
I'm bored. Bored.
Now, I realize having such a comprehensive catalog of my family's legacy isn't exactly common for most folks, and converting these tapes made me realize that capturing and preserving life's precious moments isn't as important to everyone as it was to someone like me. I was excited to meticulously archive and organize each and every video.
The following video has been created and produced by Morgan Video Productions for your entertainment.
The first few tapes were a fun trip down memory lane, but it quickly became a numbing reminder of how short our time on this earth is. Seeing how someone's entire life can be boiled down to a collection of tapes that fit into just a few plastic bins. It's surreal, watching your parents, your aunts, uncles, at your age, and watching them grow older. The sweet honey of nostalgia becomes sticky and unsettling. When you reminisce too much, a line is crossed, at least for me. Suddenly you find yourself ruminating on the past. Although nostalgia is generally considered a healthy way of regulating emotions, having your history laid out in front of you, a history of simpler times in the face of one of today's most difficult trials for people's mental health, becomes toxic. And that's when it's time to stop, refocus, and separate yourself from the past. These moments in amber become permanent reminders of who we were, where we came from. It shows just how much we have and have not changed. The nonsense coming out of 4-year-old me remains a mystery. I don't recognize that boy anymore. Memories make us who we are, who we could be. Taking a trip down memory lane, indulging in that nostalgia, it's therapeutic in small doses. But I have to keep looking ahead and make new memories.
Thanks for watching. I hope I'll see you next year. Well, here's the song back. But remember, I love you, you love me. We're a happy family with a great big hug. Kiss me to you.
So Garrett, Garrett, you say you were going to get on the tape recorder thing, and then you moved out of my viewpoint. No more of Garrett.